This is Artful Discourse, your weekly escape into the vibrant world of creativity, culture, and intellectual exploration. I'm your host, Benjamin Kirk, and I invite you to join me on a journey through the rich tapestry of human thought and the beating heart of artistic expression at Fresno State's College of Arts and Humanities. A quick announcement before we get going today. We have just announced the events for our Arts and Humanities Showcase, which runs Friday, April 19th to Saturday, April 27th. The showcase kicks off with Arts in Motion, a celebration of student excellence where our Dean's Medal will be named, and it culminates with Carmina Burana, a huge concert that features the full symphony orchestra, 2 grand pianos, all of the Fresno State choirs, all packed into our little tiny concert hall. So it's going to be a huge show. I'm going to run down the full list of events really quick for you. So besides Arts in Motion and the Carmina Burana show on April 19th through 27th, we have an exhibition at the Fresno State Library, the Carmina Burana Manuscript Exhibition. That's on the second floor. It'll be across from the Starbucks. And it's put on by our Department of Modern and Classical Languages and Literatures. Also running the full week, April 19th through 26th, in the Phoebe Conley Art Gallery, we have the Senior Graphic Design Show, put on by the Department of Art and Design and Art History. Then Theater for Young Audiences at 10 a.m. and 2 p.m. on Saturday, April 20th, in the Dennis and Cheryl Woods Theater is going to be putting on a play called Nice and Slow, and that's put on by our Department of Theater and Dance. Then we have 7 p.m. Monday the 22nd, Pulitzer Prize-winning poet and author Dr. Peter Balikian will be giving a talk, and that's put on by the Armenian Studies program. On Wednesday, April 24th, we'll have the Young Writers Conference with keynote speaker Navdeep Singh Dhillon. That's put on by the English department. On Wednesday, April 24th, we have MCJ screening. On Thursday, April 25th, we have Voicing Ideas put on by the philosophy department. And on Friday, April 26th, we have the Barking Bulldogs Forensics Showcase. And I know that's a lot. We have 10 events in total. You can find the full list of events on our blog, FresnoStateCAH.com. And we'll also have those posted to our calendar soon. Calendar is calendar.fresnostate.edu. Now, last week on Thursday and Friday was the 66th annual Peach Blossom Festival. The festival welcomes elementary school children from all around the valley who perform in front of their peers. While the festival is hosted by the communications department, it's actually run by Fresno State students who plan, promote, and run the entire show. And today we have with us 3 students, Taylor Carrillo, and what's your major, Taylor?
I'm a pre-law philosophy major and a criminology minor.
All right. And you were working on the certificates and information creation team part of it?
Correct. I was responsible for designing the certificate that was passed out to the students who completed their performance at the Peach Blossom.
Okay. Next we have Daphne Doss, and
I am a communications major.
Okay, and you were with the outreach team. What does that involve?
So I was the lead of the outreach team. So I was in charge of going out to the community. I was able to go on KC24 and CBS 47 and talk about Peach Blossom and kind of raise awareness for what it is.
Okay, and Royce Garcia, you were on the social media team, and your major and your involvement?
So I'm a communications major, and my involvement with the social media team is basically anything that gets posted or anything that we have planned for being posted on any of our social media platforms, which are Instagram, Facebook, and TikTok, all go through me.
And this can be for anyone who wants to answer here. What is the Peach Blossom Festival? How many schools are involved? How many kids come to this?
So we had over 120 schools and over 3,000 kids in total between the past 2 days.
Wow.
A lot of kids.
And so how many students are involved in the planning and putting on this? Because that's a huge, huge event.
So from what I can remember, there is about, I think about 5 to 7 teams that we have. As you mentioned, we had social media outreach and certificates. And each team, I think my team is the biggest one with 5. So all other teams have 4. So you do the math real quickly, probably between 25 to 30 students.
Wow. So what's it like bringing all of these kids on campus? How was that event for you?
Okay, I would say that it was super nice, not only having the kids on campus, but also connecting with other students that go to Fresno State. Because I'm a philosophy major, I don't really have a huge connection to communication as a major. And so just meeting everyone in terms of the class that we held was super nice. But then also to come together for the larger purpose of making sure that these kids, perform their piece of poetry that they've been working on for a semester. It was really nice facilitating that and then watching it come to fruition when they do perform it in front of you. And so it was an amazing experience, I would say, overall.
All right. Now, walk me through the process. And again, this is for any of you, and you guys can kind of jump in on each other. But wh- when do you start working on Peach Blossom Festival, and what's involved in hosting the event?
So it's a class. And so all of us signed up for classes in, I think, November of last semester. And so in January, we all got the email, and we're not like, we don't meet at the same time every week. We just have to spend a number of hours in our Peach Blossom office. And so we've been working since January to put on the Peach Blossom Festival in March. So it's about like 3 months of a lot of hard work.
So there is faculty involved in kind
Mhm.
of overseeing things, but what is faculty's involvement in it?
So, faculty's involvement goes through LaDonna Hayes and Christopher Moss. They're both professors here at the university, and they are the directors as well. They two specifically are overseeing everything, making sure every team is doing something. If a certain team needs some help, they're the ones that kind of reach out and say, "Hey, can you send a couple members help out over here?" And they're really instrumental in getting us the rooms for the day because it happens all over campus. So they have to reach out and see which rooms are available or ask a professor, hey, can we borrow this room at this time? We'll be out of here by then.
And yeah, 3,000 kids, 120 schools, and that is all over campus then, right? I know that it
Mhm.
happens in the concert hall. I know it happens in the theaters and in classrooms or in Crimin.
All across the school. The morning of the first day, I actually had to go and I went to go check on all the doors that all of Peach Blossom used. And so I was able to open every door and make sure all of it was unlocked. And I went to just about every building in Fresno State.
And I'm sure outside of Fresno State too, didn't you go
Uh
so
huh.
far as to buy the Save Mart Center
Yeah,
and the
in the rec
recreational
gym.
gym?
I don't remember. Is it the Peters Education Center? I think that's
Yes.
where
Yeah.
I went, and I had to go double check that. So like crossing all the way through the parking lot, it was definitely we used just about everywhere at Fresno State.
Taylor, when I talked to you last week, you told me about a moment that really stood out to you at the Peach Blossom Festival. Would you mind sharing that moment?
Yeah, so yes, of course. The second day of the festival, I was assigned to judge an elementary school. And one of the last performances that I chose, because the judges, they're in charge of, um, I guess, assigning performances in terms of what number, or who goes first, whatever. It's up to their discretion. And so I picked the only solo of the room. And unknowingly, it was a little girl who wrote a poem herself about her younger sister. And she based that poem off of the movie 10 Things I Hate About You, the one that, when Kat writes the poem and she performs it in her class. And so this little girl kind of spun it in her own way towards her little sister. And so she went up there, she delivered her piece that she wrote herself. And it was just so cool knowing that someone that young, has the knack to make connections in that way, especially one that everyone can recognize. Because there were adults in the room too. It wasn't just me who understood that connection. And so not only was there that connection, but then she made the emotional connection to her little sister. And so she was able to personalize it herself. And I thought that was really, really awesome to see.
Was her little sister in the room? Do you know?
No,
Oh.
she wasn't, but her mom was. Her mom was so sweet and so supportive, and she was so scared to go up because I mean, it was probably my fault because she was the only solo, and I chose her to go last because of that reason. And so she went up there, and you could tell that she was pretty nervous, but her mom being there, you could tell definitely really, really helped.
Royce and Daphne, I want to ask you, do you have a favorite moment from the event as well?
I do, yeah. I actually got to judge my elementary school, which was Cole Elementary, and I remember doing oral interp at Cole. And so it was kind of full circle for me to watch them perform because I remember doing the exact same thing. And so it was really fun to judge them.
I really like that. And we're going to get back to that in just a moment. But go ahead, Royce.
So I actually also was able to judge my elementary school in kind of a accidental way. So the morning we all get our assignments for the day, so we know where to go. And I guess we had an adjustment later on that didn't get to me in time. So there was a room that didn't have a judge, and they asked like, "Hey, can anybody go like emergency judge?" Their judge never showed up. I volunteer. I go in there, and I'm opening the door, thinking to myself, "Okay, say I'm sorry. I don't know what happened. Might have had a mix up." And before I can get a word out, I look up, and there's my kindergarten teacher. And I immediately, like, my jaw dropped. I screamed out, "Miss Bailey," give her a big hug. The kids are kind of looking at us like, "What's going on here?" And eventually, I look at them. I said, in case y'all couldn't tell, I went to McKinley Elementary. I'm a former McKinley Tiger, and we can make it to Fresno State. Considering they're here to perform, I'm here as a student, and it was just a great time to see all of them getting up there and embracing their identities, not just as McKinley Tigers, but who they are as Latinos. And that was one special poem that one particular little girl gave. She gave it in full dress. It was I believe it was something called "I'm Bilingual," and she used it as a source of power for her. And just telling them that they can do it. I'm also McKinley Tiger. Got a picture with them. They started naming off some of my old elementary school teachers that are still there. It was nice.
Now, Taylor, I know that you participated in Peach Blossom when you were in elementary school.
Yes, I did.
And Daphne, you just said you did. Royce, you as well?
No, I wasn't. I had heard about it, but it wasn't really something I really asked about. And then once I got here, I kind of figured out what it was, and saw all the schools coming out. So I thought, let me give a good effort for this.
That does sound like fun to be able to judge your own elementary school.
Oh yeah, especially when it's like an accident like that.
And
It's cool.
talk to the kids and everything.
Oh,
That's
absolutely.
that's a lot of fun. But for the two of you, can you talk a little bit about your memory of Peach Blossom as a kid, and maybe how it helped shape you, or if there's a way it helped shape you in some way and bring you to Fresno State?
I performed in the Peach Blossom twice in elementary school. The first time I performed with my class as a whole, and honestly, I messed up in front of everyone. I totally was that girl who said someone else's line because I thought I was being hypervigilant, memorizing the whole poem. And so I completely embarrassed myself in front of the whole school. But the next year, I don't know how, but I mustered up the courage to perform again with some of my elementary school friends. And it was awesome. I think not only was like it sort of a redemption arc for me, but it was something that we did on our own outside of the facilitation of a teacher. And so I really think that being able to do that in front of a group of people at that young of an age is lasting. I think it made a lot of my public performances and public speaking skills kind of progress at an earlier age than most. And I do think that just being able to sit up there and deliver a piece of poetry by memorization or anything else, it really does have a lasting effect. And so I really do think it's important that schools are encouraged to participate in things like this. And so it feels really good to put on something like that.
Do you think that had an effect on you coming to Fresno State as well, on your decision to come here?
That's a really good question. I don't know if it had a direct effect. I'm gonna leave it at
Yeah,
that.
that's
That's a
fair.
really good question.
That's
I
fair
didn't think
enough.
about it like that.
Yeah. Um, Daphne.
hmm So I did it in fourth, fifth, and sixth grade. So I did it for 3 years. My former third grade teacher was the one that was actually in charge of it, and she will go down as my favorite teacher I've ever had. And so that was also kind of an excuse for me to be able to still spend time with her, because she retired actually right after my sixth grade year. So it was kind of special for me to like be there with her from third grade basically to sixth grade. And I think doing oral interp and standing up in front of people really kind of taught me, wow, okay, I do like performing. I do like public speaking and talking to people. And your question about it bringing me to Fresno State, again, same as you, I don't think that it directly influenced it, but I definitely think probably like back in my brain somewhere, it was like, hey, you could do that also.
Yeah. Yeah. And at least it makes you familiar with the campus.
Oh, absolutely.
How does it feel to kind of come back full circle, and having participated in it as as a child, twice for you, three times for you, and come back and now run the event?
It was fun to see kind of a different side of it because when you come as a student or when you come like as like, let's say I'm a sibling and I see my brother do it, you don't see really what goes on behind. And so now being like on the other side of it was really interesting and to see how much work and like how hard it is for everybody to work hard on it and make it happen was really, really cool.
I think the initial question, if participating in the Peach Blossom influenced your decision to go to Fresno State,
Hmm.
I think it's better answered by the fact that we are now students at Fresno
Mhm.
State and we both signed up for the class knowing that it was
Exactly. Yeah.
supposed to, put on the peach blossom, and so I think that um, is where the answer lies.
Mhm.
All right. So I want to talk uh, a little bit about what you took away from the experience. And so maybe something you learned and how it's going to relate to your future. And maybe while you're talking about that, you can tell everybody what your goals are, and how this kind of experience relates to what you're moving towards in your overall uh, educational experience and going into your professional lives.
Okay, that sounds. I could start with that. So originally, when I came into the Peach Blossom committee, I didn't really know what to expect, but I knew that I had experience working with social media. So when I saw the state of the social media posts for Peach Blossom, I was looking at it as a challenge to not just improve the content, but put out more than what was put out previously. So I wanted to get more content put out that was focused on the people that were putting on the event, because there's only so much you can talk about once Peach Blossom happens and it's over. So I wanted to put more of a spotlight on who the students are that are putting this on, and show that there's a lot of work going into this, show off a little bit about who's on campus, and just show off overall what our goal is. And you could probably see some of us, if you were a former teacher of ours, you could see us now. We're putting on the event. You can see us on social media, see us, really trying to bring out our personalities. And that's, I think, the goal for Peach Blossom, not just to, have students be on a college campus, but to also come out of their shell a little bit. And so, um, doing something that could help inspire a new generation was very inspiring to myself. That's why I wanted to keep pushing more and more creative social media ideas. That's kind of where I want to go to in my future. And as far as my education, I definitely want to use what I'm doing now as a communication major to inspire others, inform others, and get people more involved in whatever they want to pursue.
When do you plan to graduate?
Actually, this spring.
Oh, right on. And do you have plans for once you graduate?
The plan is to hopefully get accepted into the master's program here at Fresno State. And also, if I can, go into work for social media, particularly sports. That's kind of my bread and butter there. And it'd be, fun to do. I can talk about that all day, but wherever would be accepting for me, I would love to go into that for social media specifically.
So it's really nice that you were able to get this semi-professional experience in this course with the
Oh,
Peach Blossom.
yeah, of course. And especially because it has Fresno State Peach Blossom named on it, helps a little bit when you're in an interview.
Oh, yeah. And on your resume, of course.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Daphne.
I chose, obviously, I signed up for Peach Blossom knowing what it was, but then I also chose the outreach team because I would definitely classify myself as a people person. I love talking, I love communicating with people. And so I knew outreach would be kind of my area of expertise in a way where I'm able to go out and talk to people and tell them, hey, Peach Blossom is happening. We'd love to see you there. We'd love to get volunteers, help. Judges, I was able to extend a lot of help wanted to a lot of professors at Fresno State, even some that didn't even know what Peach Blossom was. They were like, how can I help? What is it? I want to do it. And it was really cool to just kind of see the whole community really rally and for these kids who have never really seen a college campus, and to come and gain these public speaking skills and meet new friends and other people and new professors that hopefully they're able to kind of keep in touch with.
Right. And when do you plan on graduating?
So I plan on graduating spring of 2026. So I have a little bit
You have a
of
little
a while.
bit?
Yeah.
Do you plan? Are you able to take this course again, or is this a one time?
Yeah, absolutely. You can do it again.
Do you think you're going to?
Oh, absolutely. I think it was so fun and I would love to do it again.
And what are your plans after you graduate?
I want to get a master's in communication and possibly be a professor. I would love to teach like public speaking classes, anything very much related to that, and possibly oversee something like Peach Blossom, whether it's at like Fresno State or another college.
Taylor?
As a philosophy major, I don't really have that eye for poetry. It's not something I've been technically trained in or we've really ever examined. And again, I think that pairs with the fact that someone who pursues philosophy as a career or right now as an undergraduate study, they don't really have a large connection to kids themselves, because it's a really, really small discipline that's articulate. And so I think doing something that was the exact opposite of all of the academic curriculum that I've meant to take and I've taken for so long. I thought it was a really, really, really cool experience. It was almost like two sides of a coin this semester for me. So it was really, really nice. I actually kind of found out that I really enjoy kids, and it's not something that I ever considered before. But, as a judge, you're able to give them comments in between their performances. And so just saying that they have beautiful smiles, like alone, just means so much. And the fact that I got to do that was so nice. And to just see the reactions on their face or their faces was just rewarding, just to be there as a student, a part of the class. It really meant a lot to me. Um, and yeah,
Yeah. I know you're graduating this semester as well.
yes.
What are your plans after graduation?
Well, it's interesting. I'm actually in the running for the Dean's Medal at the Arts in Motion event. And so I think showing that I'm a part of something like this, it spans so far outside of the curriculum that you're meant to take, is illustrated with something on its own. But after graduation, I plan on applying to Stanford to attend law school there. Following that, I would love to earn my PhD in philosophy. I would love to practice law one day. I would love to teach philosophy one day. I'm really just amazed by the educational system as a whole.
Just curious, do you plan on being an attorney? Or
Being a federal prosecutor would be super cool. However, I do like to do rewarding work. And so I'm not saying that an attorney isn't rewarding, but sometimes I just feel like it's not enough. I want to do more.
yeah.
Yeah.
It just seems like with the communication and the philosophy law side of things that a courtroom
Yeah,
or
they're
something along
perfect.
those
They're
lines.
literal perfect
Yeah.
matches. I was just telling the dean that. Yeah.
All right. Is there anything I missed? Anything anyone would like to add?
I would like to add particularly a little snip from a video that I had produced for like a day 2 recap when I actually got to speak with the parent directly about what it was like for them to watch their child on a college campus. They were actually a Fresno State alumni, and it had been about 15 years roughly since they had graduated. And so he kind of told me about how he can now have his wife, his oldest child, and now the youngest child that was actually participating in Peach Blossom, of how special it was for him so that way he could see where their future's going, and not only, take them back to where he used to be at, but show them where they can take themselves in the future.
And this is the 66th annual?
66, yes.
So this has affected generations upon generations upon generations
Oh, yeah.
at this point. It's incredible. It really is. It's incredible that it's been going on so long. It's incredible that the students actually run it. And it's amazing to see just the school buses upon school buses upon school buses and
Oh,
the
yeah.
floods of children flooding the campus, as during Peach Blossom. And of course the performances are always a blast.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So thank you, everybody. Just a reminder that our Arts in Motion celebration of student success is Friday, April 19th. And Taylor, you just mentioned this. You are a student of distinction representing the philosophy department, which puts you in the running for the Dean's Medal. Are you excited about that?
Yeah, I'm so thrilled. I mean, it really means a lot for me to have won the award. I see the whole philosophy department as geniuses, and so I feel like everyone just wants to know that the feeling is mutual. And so to know that my professors, they vouched for me to be here, and I am here because of them, it really means a lot. And so I would love to own up to my end of the bargain by getting that Dean's Medal, but if not, it just means a lot to even be considered for this. So yeah.
Well, I want to wish you the best of luck, or break a leg, whichever you would prefer to have. And I know I'll see you there. I'll be there. But that event kicks off our Arts and Humanities Showcase again with 10 events, culminating with the huge performance of Carmina Burana on April 26th and 27th. For a complete list of events, which will be updated as we get closer to the showcase, visit our blog at FresnoStateCAH.com and click on 2024 Showcase in the main menu. Thank you, everybody, and we'll see you next week. Artful Discourse is a production of the College of Arts and Humanities at California State University, Fresno. The Dean is Dr. Honora Chapman, and the Associate Dean is Dr. Sergio Laporta. This program is written, directed, and produced by me, Benjamin Kirk, the college's communication specialist. The theme song for Artful Discourse is Maiden Voyage by Fresno State music professor Benjamin Boone from his album, Joy. More information about his music can be found at benjaminboone.com. Special thanks to KFSR and FSR Underground General Manager Julie Lindahl for making this show possible. You can learn more about the College of Arts and Humanities and find an archive of our shows at our website, cah.fresnostate.edu, or on our blog, fresnostatecah.com.